What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB once again, and I'm here for the week's hottest topic. This is number 8. So, you guys, let's go ahead and just discuss what's been going on in this week's news. All right, you guys. So the first thing that I do want to talk about and address is last Friday, July 17th, we lost 2 of our freedom fighters. We lost John Lewis and we lost C.T. Vivian. So I first want to start talking about Mr. Vivian. So, like I said, Mr. Vivian was one of the soldiers in the fight for voting rights equality over 60 years ago. He also worked alongside with Dr. Martin Luther King as well. Mr. Vivian helped to organize the Freedom Rides to integrate buses across the South. He trained waves of activists and nonviolent protests. It was Vivian's bold challenge of a segregationist sheriff while trying to register black voters in Selma, Alabama, that sparked hundreds and thousands to march across the Edmund Pettus Bridge. So, I think he was 95 years old when he passed away. I think he's 95. Fact check me on that one, you guys. I think he was 95. So we definitely want to say a rest in peace to a Mr. C.T. Vivian. And then Mr. Lewis, he also passed away on Friday as well. He had pancreatic cancer. It came out in December of last year that he had pancreatic cancer. Mr. Lewis went from being the youngest leader on the march of the 1963 March on Washington to a long-serving congressman from Georgia and an icon in the civil rights movement. He was also part of, the Selma walk on the Edmund Pettus Bridge. I was looking at some of those photos that have come, that were, shown of him being beaten. It's crazy to think about that time period, how African Americans were treated then. And even in this day and age, we're not treated much better, but we have a little bit more, we're treated somewhat better than they were. It's just interesting to say the least. But, he was 80 years old when he passed away. He was actually the same age as my mom. He's actually a little bit older than my mother was. Well, a few months older than my mom, because my mom would have been 80 on September 19th of this year. So yeah, we want to say rest in peace to both C.T. Vivian and John Lewis. So let's move on, you guys. All right, you guys. So the next story that I want to talk about is a really sad one as well. So yeah, the first half of this is gonna be actually most of this is sad. Most of this is sad stuff, but at the end of it, so we're gonna switch it from honorable mentions to small talk. So the stuff in small talk will be some of the more, lighthearted subjects that we can discuss. But this one, I don't remember when this information came out. I'm pretty positive this information either came out on Friday or Saturday. I think it was Friday because I know it didn't come out on my birthday. So it was either Friday. I think it was Friday because it was after I posted last week's hottest topics video, that it came out that Tamar Braxton attempted suicide. And, suicide is no laughing matter because I don't know. I think I may have said this on some of my videos before, or I may not have. I don't know. But I had an episode in 2017 where I attempted suicide. It was unsuccessful, obviously, but I did attempt suicide, and it was actually, a week after my mom's birthday. I remember it distinctly. Remember it so vividly. I got so bogged down and so depressed. And, I walked out of my apartment, and I lived in a busy area, so it was a lot of traffic. And, I was walking in traffic, and I just stopped in front of a car. By the grace of God, that car did not hit me, but I intended for, someone to hit me. because I just didn't want to be here. So I empathize with Tamar because I know what it feels like to go through an attempt to commit suicide. I don't have the issues that Tamar is facing, because the issues that Tamar is facing is, and actually, while I was watching Marriage Boot Camp last night, after the episode went off, they showed a clip of Tamar's new show that's coming on WeTV. And I was looking at, because I didn't watch the whole clip because I went out to do Uber Eats. So I was watching that clip, some of the clip, and just looking at that clip, you could see that she wasn't herself. She didn't look happy. And I'm just like, these people really did not see that there was just something a little bit off about Tamar. But I guess when it comes to, these production companies and these TV, these networks, it's all about the bottom. It's all about them making their money on their talent. And that's just really sad for the talent, because you never know what's really going on in a person's life. And my heartfelt prayers go out to Tamar, her family, her son. And I think that's the biggest thing, that it's so sad that she has her son and she felt like she had no other way out but to do this. I just pray that Tamar gets the help that she needs. I really do. And like I said, I know that, she has some issues with WeTV and, how they portray her. What do I want to say about that? I always say when it comes to these reality shows, they can only edit what you give them. And if you guys if you guys watch Celebrity Big Brother, you guys know that they have those live feeds. Even in the regular Big Brother, it has live feeds. And I'm someone who watches Big Brother every year. And I watch the live feeds. I watch, when they come on. It used to be Showtime that used to come on, but now they come on Pop. It's called Big Brother After Dark. And I watch that stuff. And the Tamar that you see in these edited clips is the Tamar that I was seeing in the live stuff. So, and I'm not, I'm not attacking Tamar by no means, but this is just me saying, I do, again, I have to say it. I empathize with Tamar. I want the best for Tamar. I think Tamar is truly talented, but, speaking of, Tamar and her family, have they canceled Braxton Family Values? Because I have not heard anything about that show in quite some time. But I just really hope that she gets the help that she needs. I have been hearing some things about the family not being too fond of David, who actually called the cops when, he found her unresponsive. Now, the one thing that I will say about David is that 911 call, I don't necessarily think he should have, told 911 everything that was going on, like with the contracting disputes with WeTV. I think he could have left some of that stuff out and just basically just told them, like, my girl, she's here. She's unresponsive and I just need help. You didn't have to go so deep. But like I said, once again, I just want Tamar. I know she's been moved, but I just hope that she gets the help that she needs. I hope that, she finds peace with whatever happens in her life. I just hope that for her. My prayers go out to she and her family, that they get through this difficult time right now. What else I want to say about Tamar? That's about it, I think. That's about it. Keep your head up, Tamar. I did tweet, on my Twitter, I did tweet out to her that, no matter what she's going through, just know that she is loved. That's all. Just know that people do love you, for sure. But let us move on, you guys. All right, you guys. The next one that I want to talk about, this one, I don't remember when. Now, I think this happened. I think everything that I'm talking about happened either Friday or Saturday, but I think this next one is talking about Kanye West. Kanye. And I too empathize with Kanye because, we all know Kanye has not been the same since his mom passed away. And, someone who's lost their mother, I know that feeling. It feels like it's a huge part of you that is gone once you lose a parent. A big chunk of you is gone, and you wonder if you'll ever be the same again. Because I wonder that about myself every single day that I wake up. Because my first thing in the mornings used to be to call my mom. If she didn't call me, I called her. And notes, it wouldn't be, let's say today's Friday, but let's just say, for the sake of saying, excuse me, y'all. Like, I would go home on Friday nights, and I would leave to come back home. I would go to visit my mom on Fridays because I was living between Dallas and my hometown. So I would go to my hometown on Friday night, stay the entire weekend with her, come back on either Sunday night or early Monday morning to be back for work in time. And, so Monday through Friday evening, I was in Dallas. And, if she hadn't heard from me, she wouldn't even let 2 days go by if she hadn't heard from me. She would call me just to see how I am. Or if I hadn't heard from her, I would call her to check on her. So it's just different not having her around. So like I said, I know that feeling. It's a sinking feeling. It's a feeling of, can I get through this? Can I get through this? Like I'm actually about to tear up, and I'm trying not to. I always think to myself, because I thought this when my grandmother passed away as well, but it really came home when my mom passed away, is how do I live the next however many years I'm on this earth without the one person who hands down means more to me than anything in this world. Like, I would give up, like, honestly, I would give up this apartment that I live in. I would give up everything in this apartment. I would give up my car. I would give up the clothes on my back. I would give up every possession that I have just to be able to talk to my mom, to see her. I would give everything away in a heartbeat. Like, when she passed away, I stopped caring about I really stopped caring about stuff. Like, I just stopped caring about a lot of shit. So I know where he's coming from. So to talk about Kanye, let's just discuss. We've been talking about the fact that he is running for president. I think I discussed this in last week's video about what he's running on. He's running on the birthday party. When he announced on July 4th that he was running for president, I knew something was off with Kanye. I'm like, he must be in a manic episode, because we do know that Kanye, is bipolar. So I'm like, he must be in a manic state, because this doesn't make sense. And then, I think he registered in South Carolina, which is coincidentally where he did his first rally. That rally was all over the place. Like, I couldn't even look at it. I saw clips of it, and I was just like, I can't sit here and watch this. This is a disaster. This is a train wreck. Like, I can't do it. I don't want to sit here and look at this. This is sad to see. And then, he made some terrible comments, talking about Harriet Tubman. She didn't free the slaves. She actually sold them out. She actually gave them to other white people to work for. And I was like, oh my God. And then, the one thing that, really alarmed me was the fact when he said that, about Northwest, that Kim and him were supposed to he wanted to get an abortion. I was like, how do you? And that's when I knew, like, he is definitely going through something manic right now, because you said this, and Northwest is of age to, I don't know if she's of age to know about abortion or anything like that, but she's of age to understand the fact that you didn't want her. And then, sometimes you gotta be mindful of the things that you say. But I was just like, oh my God, the fact that he actually said that was the one thing that, alarmed me. And then, he went on this rant on Twitter. When you looked at the Shade Room, you could just see them. They just continue to post those rants of his. And I'm like, why don't somebody take his phone away from him? Like, God. You know, he called Chris, I think he called her Chris Jong-un, and he put a picture of her with Kim Jong-un's, over his face. I'm like, oh my God. Then he's talking about Kim and Meek Mills. It's just like, oh my God, he's spiraling out of control. And then I know yesterday Kim spoke out about his mental health issues. And I know people are blaming the Kardashians. I won't blame them this. I can't place a whole lot of blame on them. But what I will say, however, is him being in that family is not conducive to his medical needs. And I do know that they said that a doctor cleared him, saying that he's not a danger to anybody. I don't know how you can actually say that. I'm not gonna say he's a danger, but he's unstable as of right now. Like, he's not himself. God, I feel like at some point, someone would have to take him to court to get his rights taken. Because I feel like it's going to get worse and worse and worse. Like, I just feel like it's going to continue to get bad. I really do. Like, I really do pray for Kanye, and I hope that I pray for him, but also at the same time, I want him to seek medical attention because, like I said, there is something wrong. He's manic, so he needs to sit down with a therapist or a doctor, and he needs to get I know he don't like to take medication, but he needs it. He needs to get calibrated because this is not good for you at all. Like, at all. And I know I've been seeing people that have been advocating for him, rooting him on with this whole presidential campaign. If this is not a wake-up call to you guys that he does not need to be president, you do not need to vote for him, let this be something that tells you this ain't what it is. We already got one mentally unstable person in the office. We don't need to. And we don't need that same mentally unstable person going back into office for a second term. But like I said, once again, you guys, I am going to stand up prayers for Kanye. I hope that, he, just like with Tamar, I hope that he gets the help that he needs to be, the Kanye that people love. At this point in my life, I can listen to old Kanye's music and, enjoy that person. But this Kanye right here, I can't. It's from a distance at this point, a far distance. But let's move on to the next story, you guys. All right, you guys. So the next story up is about Tommie from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Now, you guys know Tommie hasn't been on Love and Hip Hop for about 2 seasons now. I do know that she does have her show Tommie Shit that will be coming on the Zeus network sometime soon. I don't know when it's coming, but will you guys be checking out that show? Let me know in the comment section below. But it recently came out that Tommie's 16-year-old daughter is pregnant. And, the daughter said that Tommie, and I believe her aunt tricked her into tricked her to come to an abortion clinic to get an abortion. The girl said that she didn't want to get an abortion, and that's her right. And, I'm all for women's rights. I don't believe anybody should tell a woman what she can and cannot do with her body. I 100% advocate for that and believe in that. I just get so sick of these, pro-life people talking about, that they're killing an unborn baby. Like I said, I think I said this last week, or I said this in one of these videos where I had a conversation with a Trump supporter who was actually talking against abortion. And I asked the question of, so if you're so against abortion, how do you feel about kids who are in, the foster care system or in adoptions? How do you feel about those kids? Do you care about them as well? They were like, yeah. What about you? And I had to put egg on that person's face by saying, actually, I am, because I want to adopt a child. So you don't have a one-up on me. If you're not talking about adopting a child, then shut up about pro-life. Because if you care about a fetus so much, care about that baby once it's actually, care about that fetus once it's actually living and breathing in this world with no home to go to, with no family to love it. That's when you need to talk to me about it. And then they're out here talking about with the mass, my body, my choice. I'm like, that is hypocritical. That has been very hypocritical. You do realize that. For you to say my body, my choice, you are saying the same thing that women say about their bodies. Just put it out there. But yeah, so she said that, Tommie them tricked her. Do I agree with Tommie doing that? Not at all. And I know there were some text messages. I don't agree with anything. I don't agree with her methods. I will say that. But her reasoning behind it, I actually agree with it. And, I actually had a conversation with a friend about this recently about, pregnancy. Because, so the conversation was, we were talking about, people in my grandmother's day, because my grandmother, how old was my grandmother when she had my mom? My grandmother was a teenager when she had my mom. I think she was about, how old was my grandma? You guys, I need to, because I can't, she was born in 24, right? She would have been 90, 80. How? Damn, y'all, I really don't forgot how my grandmother would be. I think she was born in 1920. So my grandmother was either 16 or 17 when she had my mom. No, she wasn't 16. She was either 17 or 18. No, 16 or 17. Actually, I think she was 17 when she had my mother. So we had that discussion about how in the older days, in the 20s and stuff, and far back, beyond that, it was acceptable for a woman to get married and have kids by, in her teens, like from 14 to 17. But, the times were different then as well. And even still, I'm thinking back then, and it's like what Tommie was saying. She just wanted her daughter to be a teenager and not have that responsibility of being a mother, because there's no rule book about how when you go through labor. There's no rule book when you come out of labor and go home with that baby. There's no rule book on how to raise a child, or the proper way to raise a child and not. So I understood where Tommie was coming from 100%. Again, do I agree with her methods? No, I don't. But I got the message that she was saying. She just wants what's best for her daughter, and she doesn't think that being a teen mom is necessarily it. So I understand that. Now, I will say, however, Tommie can sit down with her daughter and have a conversation with her daughter. She doesn't have to be a statistic. Like, she doesn't have to be a teen mom statistic, because I know the stigma is, teen moms, they get pregnant, they don't graduate high school, they have to go back and get their GED, they end up working, dead-end jobs, whatever they can find, like McDonald's, Popeyes, Walmart, whatever grocery stores you have in your area. They work low-end jobs, or they go the route of, and I'm not judging anybody who does this, but, they do like odd jobs, like, CNAs, and I'm not judging anybody who's a CNA. Don't take that as, he's judging. No, I'm not judging at all. My mom was a CNA. She made very good money as a CNA. So I'm not judging anybody. Actually, my mom she did a lot of things. She did a CNA. She was a substance abuse counselor. She owned rental property. So my mom did pretty good for herself in her lifetime. So I'm definitely not judging anybody who does any of that stuff. And when I say Tommie doesn't want her daughter to be a statistic, and the reason why I say the reason that I say she should sit down with her daughter and have a discussion with her about what she wants to do with her life is because she doesn't have to be a statistic. I have a very good friend I went to school with. We've known each other since we were kids. We've been friends since we were She's a year older than I am. So I met her and her brother when I was 3 years old. So for the time, so at that time we were both the same. We're literally, she's a year older than me, but until her birthday comes up, we're the same age. Like she'll be 32. I'm 30. I just turned 31, so she'll be 32 on her birthday this year. So we're the same age right about now. But you know, she got pregnant when we were in high school. I think we were seniors, or it was either our junior year or our senior year of high school. She got pregnant, and you know, with us being friends, you know, me, her, and her brother. Her brother was my best friend. Still is my best friend. But you know, she and I were friends as well because I always spent so much time with them. And my mom told me, she was like, you know, I'm not gonna say her name. She's like, you know, so and so is pregnant. I'm like, no, I didn't know that. I'm like, so, you know, what's she gonna do about school? And my mom and their mom were good friends. They talked on the phone all the time. So, you know, her mom told my mom, she's like, oh yeah, you know, she's gonna, you know, have the baby, and then she's gonna do classes, you know, she's gonna do her work from home until she has a baby, and then when she has a baby, she's gonna go back to school, and she did just that. She came back to school. She graduated with our class on time, so she had her high school diploma. And when we went to college, her daughter was no more than a year at that time. So you know, she went through college. She got her. She graduated from our. You know, our. She graduated from the community college that we all went to. She got her. I think she was an LVN at the time, and then she went on to our university in our hometown, and she graduated and got her RN license. So she's a registered nurse. So I know she just 2 years ago got, you know, closed on her first home. So you know, the sky's the limit. So she, you know, that's a perfect example of, you don't have to be a product of, you know, statistic or your environment. You just have to want more for yourself. So I get where Tommie's coming from, but like I said, Tommie can sit down with her daughter and ask her what her aspirations are. Help her get to where she wants to be. Now, if she doesn't want to graduate from high school or go to college, that's totally up to her. But ask her, talk to her, sit down with her, and discuss these situations with her. But that's gonna be it for the big stories. Now let's move over to some small talk, okay? All right, you guys, now for small talk. I don't know how long this video is going to be. I wasn't trying to make it super duper long, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a lengthy video. So the first story that we want to talk about in small talk is congratulations are in order to Nicki Minaj and her husband, Kenneth Petty. She just announced that she is pregnant. I mean, it wasn't a shock to me when I found out that she was pregnant, but congratulations are in order to her. I mean, when I saw those stills for 6ix9ine's video, I'm like, Nicki Minaj's stomach is pooched out, so look like she's pregnant. And I know somebody in the comment section on the Shade Room that worked with her, you know, hinted at it, that she was pregnant. But yeah, I know people are talking about the fact that she's pregnant by this man. Shit happens in your past. He can be around his kid. He just can't be around. He can't be. I mean, he just can't be around other people's kids. But I mean, if he makes her happy, like, you guys have to just live with that and deal with that. You guys can't judge. I mean, don't judge what she does, because that's between she and her husband. The next thing that I wanted to discuss is the August Alsina situation. So you guys remember, Jada did her Red Table Talk with Will Smith, where she talked about having an entanglement with August Alsina. Now, I was hoping and praying that August wouldn't say anything, but I'm like, that's just going to be too much like right if he didn't say anything. Well, he did come out and he had something to say. He had something to say in the form of a new song called Entanglement. So I listened to the song last night on my way to get something to eat. It features Rick Ross. It's a decent song. Like, I'm like, okay, I can rock with this. I can fuck with this. Will I buy the song? Fuck no. I am not buying that song. But if you guys want to get out there and support August Alsina in that song, go for it. Knock yourselves out. He ain't buying it. When I listen to it on YouTube, yeah, because that song was absolutely a bop. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, that song was just garbage or it was trash. It was actually a good song. It was a bop. I'm like, I can actually see myself, in the club. I can see myself. Well, I don't even go to the club like that, so can't say I can see myself in the club. But if somebody had a party and they played Entanglement, I'd be like, hey, that's that August Alsina shit. Turn that shit up. Let's have a good time with that. But I will say, now that he's done this, can we finally put this shit to bed? I don't want to hear anything else about Will Smith, Jada, or August. It's done. Let's never discuss this shit again. Let's go out in the backyard. Let's dig a big ass hole. Let's bury that shit and let's move on with our motherfucking lives. End of discussion. Let's be done. Let's be done. Let's be done. Let's be done. Moving on. So, next, you guys, there is something that I did want to discuss. It's not in my notes, but and it's just gonna be a small thing. So I think it was, what day was this? Oh, it was yesterday, Thursday. How did I forget this? So I was in my car and I was driving, and I was on YouTube, and this interview came up. And it was an interview that George Stephanopoulos had done with Mary Trump, who is WhatsApp's niece. Very enlightening interview. She was talking about her grandfather, how he was toward the kids. She was talking about her father's death. If you guys really do want to check out that interview, it is on YouTube. Just look up Mary Trump. She has a book out. I forgot the name of the book. She was also on The View yesterday. Meghan McCain was trying to come at her neck. But what I will say about that woman, she eloquently read Meghan McCain. I got to put it at that. But yeah. Mary Trump, I actually will say that of the Trump family, I do like her. People are talking about she's just gruntled. I don't believe that. I actually believe what she has to say about Trump. So yeah, let's move on from that. Let's move over to Real Housewives news. Also, you guys, before I talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta, you guys do know that next Sunday, Real Housewives of Potomac returns on Bravo, and your boy is reviewing season 5 of Real Housewives of Potomac. Now, let's talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta news. So this is not official yet, but I know B-Scott is reporting that Nene Leakes is out at Real Housewives of Atlanta, and within the next few days, Nene is going to be issuing a statement saying that she's not returning to the show. Is that a shocker to me? No. Especially with all the stuff that has been happening this past season with Nene, with her hiring Lisa Bloom, with her at the reunion. I just felt like it was time for Nene to just walk away from Real Housewives of Atlanta at this point, because you can see that she's not happy. But I had actually also kind of saw this coming. It wasn't even with the whole beginning half of it, because Kenya at the reunion was talking about the fact that Nene wasn't in the first few episodes. But Andy did come out later and say she wasn't in the episodes because that's what was in the contract. So you guys remember she got suspended, so that's probably what was in her contract. You're not going to be in the first few episodes, but you are going to be in the remaining episodes after that. But yeah, allegedly she's out at Real Housewives of Atlanta. How do you guys feel about that? Would you guys miss Nene? But I know Nene has some other projects that she's in the works. She's doing some other stuff. So yeah, Nene's gonna be fine. The thing that I will say about Nene is I hope and pray at some point we can get back to the Nene that was from earlier seasons, the one that was enjoyable, the one that you could laugh, you could have a good laugh with, not this one who is high on her horse, thinks she's, the queen bee, the head honcho, the big shit. And I was going to say something. I remember what I was going to say now. When it comes down to this, I kind of saw this coming. You guys have to remember, I watch all the Housewives franchises. So I know what's going on in every city, with the exception of maybe Jersey. With the last few years, I have tuned out of Jersey. Jersey has just gotten terrible to me. more so specifically speaking, Teresa. I used to love Teresa, but now I detest Teresa. Gotta be honest with you, I detest Teresa. But yeah, I kind of saw this coming when they fired the likes of Vicky Gumbelson and Tamra. Now, I was happy when they fired Tamra. Be quite honest with you, I can't stand Tamra. But also with the Real Housewives of Atlanta news, there are some rumors about 2 new additions to the show. One of them is a YouTuber by the name of Latoya Forever. I don't really know much about her. I did look at her channel yesterday, but I didn't watch a video. I know that they say she's going through a divorce with her husband. So that would be interesting to see. I mean, I would hate to see a family break up, but that would actually be interesting because I don't think we've ever really, yeah, technically we have, because Gina from Orange County, her husband, they're going through their divorce. But yeah. And then also another newcomer that they're saying is alleged is Drew Sidora. If you guys don't know that name, you might remember her from shows such as she was on the CW and BET. Actually, at the time, it was on the CW. She was on The Game. She played herself. She slept with Derwin, and that set a whole thing, a lot of shit in motion. She was also in the White Chicks movie. She played Marlon Wayne's wife's messy ass best friend. And then she was also in the TLC movie, the TLC biopic that was on VH1 a few years ago, where she played T-Boz. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about that. The Real Housewives news. Are you guys sad about if NeNe will leave the show? How do you guys feel about if they do add Drew Sidora and Latoya Forever? I know that you're trying to get in a younger demographic. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section about that. Then let's talk about Drea Michelle. Drea from Basketball Wives. So Drea I guess she was on like a podcast, and they were talking about this whole Megan Thee Stallion situation with Tory Lanez. Now, Drea, I know she was trying to be funny when she said this situation, as she wants someone to love her enough that if she's trying to run away or go away to shoot her in the foot. I'm like, ooh, Drea, that was not funny whatsoever. It was cringeworthy. So then Megan Thee Stallion came out and called her a dumb bitch, making fun of this situation. But I think even 50 Cent has made fun of it as well. And I don't know how the fuck he can make fun of something. Nigga, didn't you get shot 9 times and you still living? But okay, you want to make fun of this woman for getting shot. Dumbass. I didn't really think that small talk would be this long. I'm at 10 minutes on small talk. But yeah. Now, speaking of Megan, why did Megan James feel the need to come out and make a comment? It was on, I don't forgot what site, celebrities, like Gossip or I don't know who posted it, but Megan James felt the need to comment. I'm like, Megan, stay your ass out of this. Talking about Drea doesn't like Megan's girl. The shit between you and Drea was years ago. Listen to me good, Megan. Move on with your life. All right, you guys, and then I want to close out with the versus battle between Snoop Dogg and DMX. What did you guys think about it? I was getting ready to head to the gym, and I got the notification from Instagram that versus was going live. I'm like, oh shit, this is the Snoop and DMX versus. I'm a big fan of both Snoop and DMX. So I know listening to the battle, honestly, Snoop won that, but listen to some of them DMX songs, I'm like, oh shit, this it just took me back to my childhood. Because DMX came out around the time that I was really coming up. And Snoop has been around, even actually both DMX and Snoop were out when I was like a little bitty kid. So wow, man. It was a fun time. For sure, it was a fun time. I love the memes of Snoop dancing. Like those memes are killing me. But let me know what you guys thought about the versus battle. And you guys, that is going to wrap it up for us here with this week's Hottest Topics number 8 for the week of, what week is this? This is the week of, don't judge me, y'all, July 20th. Well, yeah, we'll say the 20th through the 24th. So that is going to do it for me. Be sure to like this video, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification button so you guys are aware when I drop anything else. Share this video. And you guys, we will do this each and every week. Same time, same place. So until next week, you guys, see you later.